what's up? So another truth I like to keep reiterating is that Friedrich Nietzsche, my favorite philosopher ever, he died August 25th, 1900. Whereas the next most famous Nietzsche, Jack Nietzsche, a famous musician, he even wrote the soundtrack for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, dies August 25th, 2000, exactly 100 years later to the day. Okay? And I'm the only one to notice this, and I just think it's weird. So maybe because Illuminati know that Nietzsche was the great disappointment cure of 1844, because he was literally born a week before the 2300-year prophecy calculated by William Miller, an Aquarius rabbit like me. You know, of course, I'm an Aquarius rabbit and going to uncover these types of truths. So maybe Jack Nietzsche died specifically that day for a reason. I'm not saying he did, but I'm saying it's weird. So in the King James Bible, the First Chronicles 21 says Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. So the Lord set pestilence upon Israel, and there fell of Israel 70,000 men. But in 2 Samuel 24:1, the same historical event, it says the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, aka Yahweh. And then, he killed 70,000 men. Okay, so why is the same historical event? One says Satan, one says Lord. But it's both the King James Bible. If the King James Bible is inerrant, why does it say that? Exodus 20 says, the people stood far, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Yahweh was. But 1 John 1 in the New Testament says, God is light, and in him is no darkness. So that's another contradiction, again, that's only explained with if Yahweh is Satan, okay? And I've said this, Stanley Kubrick's last film, Eyes Wide Shut, is about MK Ultra and the mind control of these prostitutes in the film, and of course the Illuminati rituals. And it's a fact that Stanley Kubrick dies the same day as the MK Ultra creator Sidney Gottlieb, March 7th, 1999, the same day Stanley Kubrick died. And that's 666 days before January 1st, 2001. Kubrick's other masterpiece film, 2001: A Space Odyssey. So this combines multiple things, okay? Kubrick goes always about the symbolism. He's connected in some kind of way. So, of course, he died the same day as the MK Ultra creator died, because Eyes Wide Shut is about MK Ultra. And it's 666 days before 2001 because it's the Satan worship. And 2001's his, masterpiece. I mean, it's sad but true, okay? I don't know. It's all creative, and I love studying the movies, but what does it mean? Like even Cyberpunk, the Cyberpunk episode, All Eyes on Me, referenced Tupac, because that's the last Tupac album where he was alive. And September 13th is the day the Cyberpunk was released on Netflix. And it's also the day Tupac died, Friday the 13th in September 1996. Okay, isn't that crazy? And of course, Yahweh again. Man and woman was created by Elohim in Genesis 1:21 and 1:27. But Eve was created by Yahweh afterwards in Genesis 2:22. Why was Eve created if God, quote unquote, already created man and woman in 1:27? Who's Eve in 2:22? I don't know. Actually, I do. It's reptilian. This is a good but controversial book, Astrology of the Old Testament by Carl Anderson. In Genesis, we're informed that everything God was good, but in the New Testament, we're apprised that nearly everything is evil. In fact, that evil prevails. And so this guy's kind of trying to talk down on the New Testament and say it's only astrology, which of course it is astrotheological. But my explanation to all of his arguments are basically, well, Elohim was good in Genesis, but in Genesis 2 and onward, Yahweh did begin to rule. Okay? In Genesis 1:16, God made two lights. Let there be lights. Let them be for signs and seasons, all of which is astrological, which of course I'm glad he knows. Kind of cool. And it says, of course, the Isaiah quote we like to use, God says, I make peace and evil. In this case, where's the devil? What a great point. I love how atheists are the main ones to bring up good points about the contradictions in the Bible. Well, the contradiction is that wasn't God, that was Yahweh. Yahweh creates evil, not the Elohim good God of Genesis 1. So everyone who's like, well, if God is only good, why does he create evil? Because that's Yahweh, Satan, not God. Okay? So I just think that's really fascinating. Christians are little interested in the Old Testament. But I was Jewish, so that's what I grew up studying, ironically. Yeah, so it's a good book, but every single contradiction, everything I've found that seems to not make sense is explained by Yahweh being Satan. Okay. All right, Eternal Sunshines mentions February Winter. It's one of my favorite movies, 2004. And 210 Lacuna is the company address. That's my birthday. The director's a rabbit, Kate Winslet is a rabbit, Jim is an Aquarius cusp, and it quotes Nietzsche twice. And it was released the year I discovered Nietzsche, 2004, during the Venus transit. So I'm very connected to Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Okay, something about it. Very, very good. This is cool. The Spanish Stonehenge in Spain emerges once again. Because of this global warming or whatever, earth changes, earthquakes in diverse places type of thing. There's a drought in Spain, so look what was unearthed. This Stonehenge type monument. I'm like 90% positive this would correspond to Karl Marx the Code. I just have to look into it more, but I'm sure this is connected to all the other monuments like we've studied before. Okay, it's something. It's my Yahweh stuff, which I've gone through before. King James Bible mentions dream 145 times, so we need to look at our dreams because God is speaking to us through them. And also February 10th. We have a clear picture and how we want to get there. The pursuit of our goals is likely to take precedence over anything else. We like recognition of others, blah, blah, blah. It's important for them to look deep within to identify and hold on to the real motivation for their determination. I don't want to be on YouTube to be famous. I want to be on YouTube to spread truth. So I'm trying to constantly remind myself of this, It says our dark side is we're aloof, self-obsessed, and anxious. Come on, y'all. Anyone who follows me knows that's 100% true. But at our best, we're positive, creative, and bold. And yeah, I'm pretty bold. I say some crazy things. But yeah, I can always defend it. But I try and stay positive, not look at the doom and gloom all the time, the end of the world shit. I just mention it every now and then, but I'm mostly trying to affirm your faith instead of just make you scared of God, make you, And so, because, Mars Volta is my favorite band and I'm pushing them, Omar and I are the same Mayan astrological sign. And there's 20 days. It changes every day. It changes, and then every 20 days it starts over. So me and Omar are the jaguar, Ish, I-X, pronounced Ish. We're the magician, animal of the underworld, private, sensitive, intelligent, and psychic, aggressive, but generally avoid direct confrontations. We fight to make a point, but usually do so in indirect ways. We have unfinished business, we have deep spiritual insights and good healers. And what better thing is music than medicine? Okay, Omar knows. Me and him are rabbits, we're the jaguar, and we have moon in Cancer, y'all. That's like 3 direct astrological correlations. We're concerned with spirituality and religion. Psychic abilities, can read people intuitively. We're confessors. So anyway, me and Omar from the Mars Volta, we have those 3 astrological things. And I read in the book that this sign corresponds to Aquarius in 12th house, which has nothing to do with Mayan astrology. But the book I read said that corresponds to that, and I am an Aquarius with the sun in the 12th house. So it's just synchronicity after synchronicity. There's a Constantine sequel coming out, which is awesome. We'll see if Keanu Reeves shaves for that. Or if he'll sport the beard. Anyway, take it easy.